Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vaibhav Dalvi. I am presenting my thesis, Viewing the Future of Khonoma, Bamboo Research and Learning Center. It starts with the famous quote by Richard Rogers. Richard Rogers, architecture is measured against the past, you built in the present and try to imagine the future. 2 years back, during my internship days in Khonoma, I often used to visit Khonoma. Khonoma is known as Asia's first green village, situated near Indo-Myanmar border in the Indian state of Nagaland. Located 20 km west of Khonoma, the village is surrounded by some gigantic hills as high as 9,000 feet. The hills that surrounded the village run along the ridge, which is one of the characteristics of Angami village, and its domains extend from the rice fields to the uplands of the Bareil range. This part of Nagaland is primarily occupied by Angami tribe, one of the 16 tribes of the Nagas. The centuries-old village has a very less population. It approximately has 600 households. The rich architecture and the culture of the place are still seen through the community that is still living there. From young children to the old, everyone has a place in the village, and there is a feeling of belonging. Especially the women are more active than men. They do household work, farming, and the Naga shawl and basket weaving. Each visit to Khonoma brought a new story, and every story, the concern to conserve the culture, material, and architecture of the space become much stronger. Here is the story of Angami tribe from hunting to the farming. Hunting was once considered sacred and a significant way of life. Trapogon is the state bird of Nagaland. In early 1990s, the people of Khonoma killed around 300 trapogons just in 1 week as a part of hunting competition. That time, trapogons were urged of its extension. That's when certain villagers and elders got concerned about wildlife in Khonoma. And they started to create awareness about the significance of protecting the wildlife. Among all families were into hunting before the ban was imposed, whereas around 20 to 30 households were dependent on it. However, now almost everyone has shifted to the farming and other activities like basket and shawl weaving, ecotourism. Although there are reports of hunting still taking place on much smaller scale though, Khonoma is all set in its fight for conservation. After becoming green village, it attracted too many outsiders to witness its beauty, and need of hospitality increases, and all the equations started changing. Meet my friend Vico Sato, who is the tourist guide as well as a cane basket weaver. He told me about the challenges faced by the new generation, increase in population pushing youth to the cities. There is no particular job that can sustain their whole family. And his father thinks oppositely that youth is diverted because they don't know the value of this land. They need to get merged into the context. So basically, they have enough resources to generate a self-sustainable cycle. Some concerns that I observed in the village. On my first visit, I saw a building which struck me. What is this concrete tower doing in this traditional village? After inquiring, I found out it's a building which will accommodate tourists around the world, and will have some gathering spaces for the village community. Will this concrete block create the future of the newborn? It's not late. Let's press the reset button together and make this world greener. This is the documentation. Form follows the function. But here, form follows climate. I have documented some existing building structures, Naga houses and morooms, a place to stay for boy soldiers and their traditional houses, were a great example of how space syntax responded to the planning and construction of the structure. Considering the building material, they used to build modular houses with the common measurement finalized by anthropometry. Space was usually divided into the entrance porch with the weaving area and the fireplace, followed by the central living space that culminates into the kitchen and the storage. A simple linear flow of spaces was enclosed by the timber rooms and bamboo beams and the columns, surrounded by other house and the morooms. One cluster is formed by the binding these houses and morungs with the central open multipurpose space. Um, Many of such living clusters form a village which merges into the nature as we go down. Everything starts with the nature, like this water stream, surrounded with the beautiful paddy fields, which are enclosed in rainforest. The top parts mainly has alder trees. These alder trees are not cut but pollarded, yielding wood for fuel and light construction. Then comes bamboo plantations, and then comes the societies called khel. This is the top khel, then comes the middle khel, and then comes the lower khel. The village has pathways from every house that culminates in the farmland. Village life is closely linked with the nature. Agriculture is organic and people mostly practice terrace farming, with the rice being the main crop cultivated in the village. Alder tree perform task of nitrogen fixing. After the fallow period, the plots are cultivated again. Each family also has a shifting cultivation or a zoom plots at the edge of the forest. Here a variety of crops is grown, are soybeans, garlic, ginger, chilies, and all the vegetables along the alder trees. The zoom plots are cultivated for 2 to 3 consecutive years, and then left fallow for 3 to 4 years to regenerate naturally. Wood is the primary fuel used in homes. It is common to see stockpiles of the wood in the village. A fixed amount of wood is permitted to each family for its annual needs, and no felling or commercial logging is allowed beyond this. Hunting has traditionally been a very much part of Naga way of life. It was a radical step for villagers council to ban hunting. Homes and community houses are still decorated with trophies, considered a symbol of valor and skill. Once constructed of mud and timber, villages' homes are now mostly made up of brick and concrete with the tin roofs. However, the local natural material like bamboo continues to be used for the smaller purposes. Skilled artisans makes their fine baskets sitting at the home. Living and working spaces are not demarcated. There is always a rhythm of family life around the craftsman. Tools made with the traditional technology are used to cut bamboos. The Angamis are known for their superlative basketry skills. Local cane and bamboo gathered from the forest and around the fields are the raw material used. Ban on timber made it green village, but it snatched its heritage values. Aim. Nagaland and especially Khonoma is blessed with the natural assets like bamboo. It sits comfortable and cozy around the green backdrop of the rich bamboo plantation. While documenting the community for new structures coming up, bamboo is the only used for aesthetic purposes, while concrete and brick are used for the structural purposes. Knowledge of using bamboo structures is fading away with the time. Adapting to the new technology, the community is neglecting bamboo as a natural response to its microclimate, while bricks and concretes create damp conditions. Present days, flat roof construction are creating leakages problems, which is not an ideal response to the amount of rainfall area witnesses. The concern I had regarding Khonoma's return to the bamboo increased after while seeing this scenario, which is the reason I proposed the Insert Bamboo Learning and Research Center. The aim of the Insert is to encourage local to identify the potential of bamboo and practice their weaving skills. It stands testimony to the traditional building technology and the form. So the villagers will teach tourists how to weave the basket, and the bamboo experts around the world will teach them the construction techniques. Overall planning. Planning follows the contour lines, and hence the clusters simply sit together the way the site allows. The pathways are perforating through the whole site, which connects to the village road network. To follow that rhythm, every design structure also has a staircase that opens up on the ground and leads to the farmlands without disturbing the previous planning. The left side of the site holds all the living spaces and the dormitories, while the central place have a primary school, act as a nucleus insert where every child learns about their culture, community, just by being present in that structures. While the right side of the site holds the workshop areas. The insert ultimately merges with the surrounding and became one of entity for the community. It is it in true sense. It captures the spirit of the place. Section is explaining how the surrounding is getting merged with the design by playing in levels and many flexible and multi-usable spaces. Materials like stone, bamboo, mud teaches everyone to be humble with the design and creative with the approach. The building techniques connect one back to the roots from where they evolved, especially to space and the people. Taking cues from the traditional building techniques and planning and designed a module that replaced timber roofing with the bamboo. Dynamic structure of canteen shows the modern bamboo construction. Open to sky spaces used for various purposes from festival to the small activities. Bamboo treatment plant sit just after the construction workshop. So we come to module. Taking into consideration of earthquake zone, I designed a body of the house with waterland dop construction with bamboo as a reinforcement. It ensured the home stability and sustainability. As village sits on the hilltop, the irony of heavy rainfall and scarcity of water is emphasized. Using the solid stone, the waterproofing, the footing underneath the structure will act as a water tank, which could be a wise solution to the problem. The water tanks will hold water throughout the entire 7 months rainy season and be useful to them for the remaining 3 months. And it will flow and keep creating energy waves. Standing on the solid stone footing structure goes around plus 1 story high. The vertical division of spaces is such that the entire ground floor is given to workshops that have natural spillover space from the surrounding plinth. The upper floor is dedicated to the research learning areas with a separate entry and a narrow passages which are internally linked. Structure stands alone since connecting pathways could determine during an earthquake. These modular blocks will easily built by local community. The insert is something which is of the people, for the people and by the people. So this is the detail of clusters. So the construction of bamboo, we can use multiple methods to bind it. So one is by pegs, one is by tying it, and one is by steel bolts. So it depends on the condition where it's standing. So this is the 1:5 scale model. So I and my one friend made it in one whole day. So if we large the scale, the 10 people will make this model on the scale in one day. So it will be very helpful in many natural calamities. So at the last, the higher the buildings, the lower the morals. At the end, I'll say we together should start a bamboo movement and avoid the incidents like Joshimath in Uttarakhand, floods in Pakistan, earthquake in Haiti, and many other incidents like that, and save our tribal and rural communities and their culture throughout the world. Look after the land, and the land will look after you. If you destroy the land, it will destroy you. Thank you.